Okay, we're now on part 5 of this series of Torino power steering repair. We've got everything together here, the assembly, ready to put in a car. Got my hoses in, did that out here on the bench. It's a lot easier to get to the fittings. I am concerned about, which one is it? I think it was this one, because this is the one of the hoses that I modified. I cut it shorter and reflared the end. And I wasn't really happy with how the flare was going, but I cranked it down as tight as I could. A lot of times you can make one seat by tightening it down really tight. And we're going to see how it works out. Hopefully that won't leak, and hopefully, of course, we assembled everything correctly. I think I did, and everything will work fine for us. I'm pretty sure I got the hoses located right. I mentioned it before, but I do know if you get these two hoses crossed, meaning one outlet going to the wrong outlet. I also got a picture online of how it's supposed to go. Hopefully that's the right order. But if you get them crossed, as soon as you try to turn the steering wheel and have some fluid in it, your steering wheel will violently jerk back and forth. I learned that a long time ago. But thankfully today we had the internet to find all this good information and make things go a little easier for us, hopefully. I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to film putting it in because, like I said, it's tight conditions working under here. And I need to get under there and clean some more fluid off the floor. And I'll show you how it goes, if it works out alright. If I run into any problems, I'll show you that too. Okay guys, we finally got this thing back together. Actually, today is Friday, December 18th. And I've had it together for several days this week. And I did start it up and played around with it, and we had a little bit of a leak at first. I figured out what happened, and it was a simple fix, loose hose. Not completely loose, I just needed to snug it down tighter and seat the flare. But I think we've got it all. One issue I did see, I haven't completely done everything I want to do, but I think I got a good enough. As you can see, the rubber boot is very close to the pipe. It may even almost touch at one point. I had this header wrapped with some insulating exhaust wrap. Actually, that is wood stove. What do I want to call it? It's a wood stove thermoprotective stuff. Pretty much the same thing as header wrap, maybe even more effective. There's a little bit more here. That's all I had. I need to order some header wrap. I want to wrap this from here to here to protect these hoses from the heat. And I can't really put a heat shield around this because this has to move. So we'll leave that like it is. But I had just enough here where I think it'll be okay. And I did start it up and everything seemed okay. Now one thing I did try, since this is a little tight up top, this bracket, let me see if I can give you a better view. Here, it's kind of dark. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. And what is that in front of my camera? Okay, I think it's gone. Anyway, I can't get a good view of what I'm wanting to show you. I need to get out from underneath the car. Hope you enjoy videos of someone rolling around on the garage floor, because that's what you're getting right now. I don't know if I have enough light either. But, and now you got a bright light and my finger in the way. This bracket, block that light. This bracket right here that goes to the frame. In order to give it a little bit more clearance from this pipe here, I tried shimming this bracket down with some spacers, and that does not work. Don't try that, because I set the camera up and turned the wheel just to see what it looked like, and these hydraulic cylinders evidently apply a lot more pressure than I thought. You could see it actually bending the bolts, flexing this way and that. So I put it back like it originally is, which is 2 bolts into the frame right here where my fingers are, and then there's another one in the side that goes through like that. So don't try that. That didn't work. So I went ahead and did the header wrap thing. But we're going to start it up again, let it warm up, make sure my exhaust wrap works good. It should hold up to the heat. Like, it's for wood stoves, but that's pretty much the same stuff, maybe better. And we'll take it for a little test drive and call this series of videos done on the power steering. Let me get this thing started up, and hopefully we'll go for a little ride. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of smoke off my header wrap. I'm going to let it cook off a little bit. We'll go for a drive. But first I want to turn the wheels. Make sure no fluid squirts out again. Just for a little test. Get it on video. Show you it works too. And so far so good. Now we're gonna let it warm up real good. We're gonna go for a test drive, and if we come back with no leaks, we're gonna call this a success. Okay, first time on the road after the repair. We'll see how it does. I know going through the gravel road, it feels like it turns real nice. Feels pretty good, about the way it should be. And we used to not have this much traffic on this road till they built that darn school right next to us. But yeah, I think I'm gonna like it. That was only like 3/8 to a quarter of a throttle. It wasn't floored. So anyway, I better put this camera down before I cause an accident. Alright, we made it safely to the Walmart, and I think everything's a success. I'm going to take a look under here real quick.
And that boot is touching the header, but it's on the header wrap. Later on, not going to do it now, but we're going to have to modify that exhaust header a little more.
Hopefully you can hear me. But we safely made it to the Walmart. I don't see where anything has been leaking. It looks dry down there. Good deal. Let's get that off one-handed. I'm checking the... Whoops. Spilt a little bit. Actually, it's a little overfull. Looks awful dirty in there, but that's from that old pump. And I'm spilling crap everywhere. That's what happens when you try to do stuff while you're holding a camera. Not on there, right? There, that's better. Alright, I'm gonna make one more stop. We'll take this thing home and call it a video. I think we can call this a success. I made it to town and back with no leaks, no problems. I still smell a little bit of header wrap. Or I want to see if that, I can still smell a header wrap kind of burning. Was just going to it for a while. But what I really wanted to see if this rubber boot survived. Works pretty good. You can see I put my finger up in there between the boot and the actual header wrap, and I did not get burned or jerked away, so it's protecting it pretty good. But still, later on, I think it'd be a good idea to reroute that one exhaust pipe. We also, something else I noticed, there are two idler arms on this car, driver's side and passenger side. Sorry about the focus here. It will eventually focus, there it goes. But there are two idler arms on either side of this car. And the passenger side, I noticed when you turn, I think, a hard left, it's got a wear spot in the header pipe next to that idler arm. So that's kind of binding everything when you have to make a really, really hard turn. You know, like if you're doing a U-turn or trying to turn completely around in a parking lot or something. But for normal driving, normal curves, going around, taking a right at a stop sign or something, I don't think it's that much of an issue. But I do need to fix that pipe where it's not hitting at all, because that puts a big bind on everything, and I think it's forcing that bracket on the power steering cylinder to kind of flex that where it's bolted to the frame a little bit. So we don't want that. We need to fix that, which that'll be later on. It's been like that for a long time, so as long as I don't abuse it, turning it extremely hard, ridiculous things you shouldn't do to your power steering, it'll be okay, but we still need to fix it. But I'm going to call this a success. This will be part 5. And as far as I'm concerned, I am now officially certified to work on 68 Ford power steering, because we rebuilt the control valve, the cylinder, and it's working. So I hope this helps somebody who has never done that before. It kind of shows you, hey, even though you haven't done it before, you can do it. Or if you want to send me your power steering control valve or cylinder, I'll be happy to rebuild it. I forgot all the pricing. I wanted to research that before I finish this video. But I think the control valve can cost you, depending on who you go to, anywhere from $200 to $400. I think I remember seeing a $419 price on the control valve. I don't know if that's rebuilt or brand new. Cylinder almost as high, but the rebuild kit cost me, I think, $29.99 for the cylinder, and it was about $50 for the control valve. So there's your comparison in pricing from buying the control valve already built for you and cylinder compared to rebuilding it. Okay, I'm talking a little bit too much again, but thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.